Hey there, this is Operanthesis, and today I'm going to talk about the newest trailers from Netflix for a series of unfortunate events, season 2. So, for those who don't know, a series of unfortunate events is basically a series of 13 books. It's kind of hard to describe the plot. It's sort of mystery and sort of crime slash adventure a bit. And there's a lot of dark humor, there's a lot of dark subplots, evil villains, and everything. And I'm a massive fan of this book series. I wasn't, however, a big fan of the movie, so I was quite excited when I heard that Netflix is making a show out of it. The first season, for me, was quite good. I enjoyed it really much. It was quite loyal to the books, except for the last two episodes adapting The Miserable Mill. I think they failed miserably at adapting The Miserable Mill. Basically, they released a lot of trailers for season 2, and I'm very hyped about it. So, here I am, speaking about all the new footage and everything we have so far. At least I think, and discussing it, in my opinion, as a big fan of the books. Let's begin. Starting with the short clip of Neil Patrick Harris talking about Count Olaf's disguises. We have this very cool transitioning from each disguise into the next, and I would really like to talk about that. Now, starting from the obvious season 1 transitions, basically the disguises of Stefano, Captain Sham, and Shirley. And now, going on to the season 2 ones. First of all, Ganther the Auctioneer. For those who didn't read the books and are unfamiliar with the story, the evil man Count Olaf is trying to steal the Baudelaire fortune with a lot of money. So, in this sixth book, the Baudelaires are sent to guardians Jerome Squirrel and his wife Esme Squirrel, Esme Squirrel turns out to be a traitor who actually was the student of Count Olaf in his sort of acting school. And basically, they make this very complicated plot of basically sort of moving the Quagmire orphans, which they have captured in the last book, which were friends of the Baudelaires, to another sort of safe location through this auction, hiding them in one of the items, as well as having the Baudelaires captured to retrieve their fortune. And now Ganther, in the books, as well as it seems will be in the show, is a very sort of elegant, not really good English speaker sort of man. Of course, it's really Count Olaf, but he is sort of wealthy. He wears the striped jacket, and I think so far all we've seen of him is very accurate to the book. So I give this disguise a pass. Next, we have Detective Dupin from the 7th book. Detective Dupin was another one of Count Olaf's treacherous disguises. Basically, he tried to frame the Baudelaires for a crime they haven't committed and had nothing to do with, by disguising himself as a detective and providing fake evidence to the villagers so that they would burn the Baudelaires at the stake. He would then basically steal one of them and pretend like they managed to escape because he needs at least one of them alive to get their fortune legally. That is why he sort of dresses up as this very famous and cool detective, and he's like all in the book. He's like, "Oh, I'm so cool. It's not cool to go to meetings. It's cool to be late." And he's like sort of this, not really what you would think of a detective. He's sort of this cool guy with the glasses and everything. And I think he is portrayed quite accurately from all we see of him. Although I did think of him a bit differently when I read the book, but that's fine. And yeah, I think this one is a pass too. Now, the third one we see in this trailer is Mattathias. I think, yeah, Mattathias. Now, this one is pretty interesting because the thing is that Mattathias, Count Olaf's disguise in the 8th book, he was never seen. Basically, he pretended to be the new director of the hospital, and but the hospital director only spoke through sort of devices, so he never actually appeared. No one saw him, so he probably was just in his normal form, just talking into this microphone to the rest of the people in the hospital. And I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity, as we could have one more disguise, but I think that was pretty cool that we never saw him in the book because the director of the hospital only spoke through special devices. However, in the show, we see Mattathias as sort of as a doctor. So I think they either didn't quite do it correctly, or they completely abandoned the device idea. But this, even though I loved this disguise in the trailers because it's very menacing and threatening, does not get a pass. And on to the last disguise of Count Olaf that we saw in the trailer. It's the disguise of the carnivorous carnival. However, the thing is that this really isn't actually a disguise. That's just Count Olaf in another uniform. In the book, that was Count Olaf. He understood that this carnivorous carnival, he had the sort of free chance not to pose as someone else and to actually be himself, especially after the daily, writer of the newspaper mistakenly told his name was Count Omar. So now he is sort of free here to be the villainous, treacherous guy that he is. So in the book, he did not need the disguise. He was open to everyone as to who he was, as no one really suspected much there. And even if they did, it was kind of, well, you understand. So, I would not call it this a disguise, so it isn't put into this category. I can't judge it. I would now like to go over some other details that we were shown in all the sort of trailers and clips we have so far of season 2. Now, this is only just my opinion, but I absolutely hate how Jerem Squirrel looks in this show. The thing is that I read the book and I did not imagine him like that. I can deal with all the other characters because they get them really right, but this one, like for me, they got really wrong. For me, this isn't quite the right casting choice, especially seeing how this guy looks incredibly trustworthy. Jerem Squirrel was indeed not the same as this guy. He was very trustworthy, to the point where he was manipulated by his own wife to sort of, and he was, sometimes it was his main weakness, how nice and sort of how he views others as all very good, and how he sort of treats everyone so well that he can't really help the Baudelaires because he does not understand them. This guy, although I don't know because I didn't watch the show yet, for the look he doesn't look trustworthy. On the other hand, Esme Squirrel, his wife, who was also a traitor to Count Olaf, is extremely good. I can already see that this is a very good casting choice. She looks despicable, just as she was in the books. She is absolutely just horrendous, and you can already see the treacherous face on the actress. I believe this is the moment when the Baudelaires reveal that Gunther is actually Count Olaf in disguise, and because Esme is already knowing that and playing along, she pretends to be sort of surprised and shocked. And if this is indeed the scene, it's absolutely amazing. From this little clip, I can already see the fake reaction being so terrible that I would like to punch Count Olaf in the face for being such a bad acting teacher. Violet and Klaus disguising themselves as freaks during the carnivorous carnival to sort of survive when they are in Count Olaf's clutches, but he doesn't even realize it since he doesn't know they're around, are perfect. Like, I wouldn't recognize them if I didn't know the story. The kids in the makeup are perfect. There's so much makeup on them. In the book, I didn't really believe that Count Olaf couldn't recognize them, but here I am absolutely I'm 100% sure that even Count Olaf, the master of all disguises, wouldn't notice that these are the Baudelaires. Madame Lulu, the fortune teller who revealed to Count Olaf the locations of the Baudelaires, is pretty spot on, except I don't really remember her being that intimidating and scary in the book. She was pretty intimidating, but I wouldn't say she was so much when I was reading it. The crabs in the orphan shack had some very good CGI. Well, at least compared to Sunny driving this car in the village. Oh my god, this CGI creeps me out. She's like an animated doll. I didn't notice it that much in season 1, but here is just, oh my god. The headmaster of the school where the Baudelaires live in the 5th book, he's probably the best character I have seen adapted in the show. In the book, I didn't find him as horrific as he was intended to be, but here the actor, the voice, everything, it makes me just hate him. Even from this just very short clip. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell to stay up to date with all my new juicy content. Also share this video with a friend, that would really help, and thank you very much. May the force be with you. Maybe I should end it in a more series of unfortunate events ending. Let me think of something. May the force be with you. May the force be with you. This channel make your evening, your whole life and your day. Every single video is better than okay, so may the force be with you, be with you. Some people live at home and want to find the perfect channel. They come across the channel that is almost like a panel. It's hard to understand how you can sleep without watching, but in the other day you'll still come back to watch it.